LaSalle has released plans for the upcoming fall 2021 semester. Hello, I'm Erin Holly.
And I'm Justin Gick. A local elderly couple have resumed their Sunday brunch tradition after it was put on hold due to the coronavirus. We have all this and more coming up on LTV News, where the action never stops. Hello and welcome to LTV News, where we bring you everything from 20th and Olney Avenue, Philadelphia, and the world.
There is a lot to catch up on in the next half hour, as our producer Sam Long had the opportunity to interview Dr. Rhonda Hazell about her recent mission trip to Haiti. Now let's hear the buzz on campus.
On Thursday, March 4th, President Hanich announced LaSalle's plans for the fall 2021 semester. The plan states that the university is planning for a primarily in-person experience in the fall, with a large number of undergrad courses delivered either completely or partially in person. This semester will include a mix of course modules based on physical space constraints due to classroom capacity guidance from the city of Philadelphia. As far as student housing and dining options go, the fall semester will continue to offer an on-campus residential experience. The requirement that all residential students maintain a meal plan will not change. Dr. Hanich ends the fall plans by reminding everyone to maintain their commitment to safety and the university's historic mission. More details will be announced soon.
LaSalle's Easter break is going to look pretty different this year due to COVID-19. Easter break will start on April 1st, Holy Thursday, and continue through April 2nd, Good Friday, and April 5th, Easter Monday. Everyone will be expected to maintain proper public health responsibilities such as mask wearing and social distancing during the break. Upon returning to campus, all classes will be conducted via remote instruction in order to reduce the chance of spreading COVID-19. On-campus resources such as the Connolly Library will have restricted hours. Students should look out for emails regarding random COVID testing that will occur on April 9th and April 10th.
LaSalle's Resident Student Association is introducing a brand new event this semester, Roommate Mixers. The goal of Roommate Mixers is for students who are looking for a roommate to meet, hang out with, and find a potential future roommate. RSA is hosting both in-person and virtual forms of these events to help people find others they may want to live with next year. A pre-survey and an RSVP form can be found on LaSalle's RSA's Instagram at LaSalle_RSA. The remaining in-person roommate mixers will be held in the quad on March 24th at 1 p.m. and March 29th at 12 p.m. The online version of this event will be held on Zoom on April 6th at 8 p.m. If you are searching for a roommate for next year, you definitely want to check this out.
With the pandemic going on, travel has been put on hold. This did not stop one of LaSalle's professors from completing a mission trip to lend a hand to people in need. Sam had the opportunity to speak with Dr. Rhonda Hazell about her rewarding experience in Haiti. Check it out.
Hello, everybody. I'm back this week for another interview. Today, I'm sitting down with Dr. Rhonda Hazell from the biology department here at LaSalle. And what's interesting about Dr. Hazell is I was reading recently in an email we got from LaSalle giving stories from around campus, is that Dr. Hazell returned a few months ago from a mission trip to Haiti in the middle of the pandemic, which I found super fascinating. That's a great story. It was great to read. It's fantastic seeing what the LaSalle community does out in the real world, taking the values that they learn here, just from their students, from their teaching, and applying that out in the real world. So Dr. Hazell, thank you so much for joining me today, first of all.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So first, I read that you go on mission trips to Haiti all the time, but what inspired you to still go through with it in the middle of a world-changing pandemic?
Well, I realize that despite the pandemic, there are still needs that have not been taken care of. And if we choose to shut down and cut off that venue, then people suffer more on the other side of the world. So I decided that because of the fact that they had a need and they had requested some medications that they really need, I decided that I would make the trip and deliver some medications to keep our clinic moving, because we have a clinic over there, and we try to supply them and stock their medicines as much as we can. And just like an overall need of things that they asked about. And I said, well, I mean, I was available to do it. And so I decided that if it was God's will, it would come about. And we prayed about it, and the trip went, and it
Perfect.
was fantastic.
So what was the process like of going out to a different country in the middle of the pandemic? Did you have to quarantine beforehand and get tested and all of that, or the flying process? How was all that?
Yes, so my entire team had to be tested to make sure that we were COVID negative. And so each step of the way, there was constant COVID testing to make sure, because first of all, where we were going, there was not a COVID outbreak. And so we wanted to make sure that we weren't going to go into this third world country and bring disease with us. So we were constantly tested, and like you say, we quarantined ourselves so that we would not be exposed to the virus knowingly. And we were tested again once we got into Haiti.
How long were you out there for?
About 10 days.
Okay. So what was a day in the life like there for you?
Well, it was wonderfully hot. It was 90 degrees every day, which was nice because it was winter here.
Yeah.
But it was extremely busy. So we get up at 6 a.m. The students are at the LaSalle school by 6:30 a.m. So we go over and do morning prayer and assembly at the LaSalle school with the kids. And then we come back to the clinic and we open our clinic doors at 8 a.m. So it's a very fast-paced activity. We take a brief pause at 7:30 to eat breakfast. And then we start working in the clinic, and we see all the people that line up for the day until we're finished.
What is the work that you do in the clinic there? What kind of people are you taking care of?
We take care of people of all ages. So a lot of the parents will bring their children in, who they take them out of school for a couple hours. They bring them over to take care of infections they have in their head, on their skin, and their body. Stomach aches, headaches, night sweats, you name it. They come in. Some, people have, so then these are the children, and then the adults have adult problems, hypertension,
Yeah.
a lot of high blood pressure, diabetes, and basic adult osteoarthritis type problems.
Now, I was reading in the story posted on LaSalle's website that you would go out there with, you said, 6 duffel bags filled with medicine. How long does that last once you bring it to the clinic?
Well, you'd be surprised. So we don't give out medicine like they do here in the United States.
Okay.
Like in the United States, you can get a 30 or a 90-day supply. Here, we don't do that, because one of the ways to help maintain the health of people is to have them come back either every 7 to 14 days for more medications, and then it kind of spreads it out a little bit. So we never give out more than 14 doses of any medication at a time. And again, you learn how to dole it out, you learn how to give out medication. And so a lot of the creams and stuff, you put them in small containers, you teach people how to apply it to their heads, to their skin. For infections, we bring soaps, because, that's not an easy access thing for people. It's also an expense for people that don't have any money. You'd be surprised at how you can stretch a quarter to make it last.
Yeah, I'm sure the people are absolutely thrilled when you and your group goes out there just having medicine. Does that medicine last till your next mission trip, or is that just you guys are there for 10
normally,
days?
Yeah, that's a good question. Normally it does, because if I'm going every 3 to 4 months, it could hold them over for that period of time. Yes, normally it does. So this past year in 2020 was the longest stretch, because I was there in the summer and thought I might go back in the fall, but then, the pandemic continued, and so I had to wait 6 months. And that's why they really wanted me to come back. And that's why I really wanted to go back, because I knew that it had been the longest stretch in years since that I've had to wait to take medicine to them. And I knew that they were down to bare shelves.
So every 3 to 4 months is your normal timetable for going out there,
Yes.
or if there was no pandemic?
Yes.
So what inspired you to, let me rephrase that. When was your first time you ever went out there?
Well, one of my students actually after lecture one day said to me, Dr. H, you would really like to go on this trip. I guess she had been on I don't know, LaSalle has that mission office, and they were taking the kids on different trips. And then I decided, okay, I'll check it out. And so in 2017, I went for the first time and loved it immediately. Fantastic work, great people, excellent setup, excellent opportunity to provide for God's children, people all over the world that need something that we can provide.
So were all your trips after that, is that all through the LaSalle program, or did you have to start going through a third-party organization to get out there every 3 or 4 months?
Great question. No, LaSalle does not fund my trips. I fundraise for those trips externally. I do external fundraising, and that's how I go on these trips.
Where do you normally do your fundraising for, just in case anyone who watches this wants to donate next time that it's available?
Well, we have a Haiti fund at a bank.
Okay.
And so I get a lot of advertisements. I get lots of speaking engagements, all in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. And I've even spoken out in Minnesota and Arizona. So I speak at different places, and word gets around about my mission. And people, it's really word of mouth. Besides the newspaper. I mean, I've gotten several articles in the newspaper, and people send checks to the bank. It's a direct deposit, so I don't have to worry about getting involved with that finance. The bank handles that. So it's a Haiti fund, and it's been wonderful. I mean, this is how God provides. It's been continuous, and we've never run dry.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So with mass vaccine rollouts happening across the country, do you have your next trip planned out? You think it's going to be a little bit easier, the process of just getting out there?
I think it will be easier because I'm fully vaccinated, and people that usually travel with me are also fully vaccinated. And I'm continually in conversation with the people in Haiti to find out if any of the disease process has reached them. And to date, thank God, it has not.
Yeah, that's perfect. It's great that you guys are able to go out there and take all the necessary precautions and not have to worry about bringing a disease, like you said, into a third world country, especially with your whole team vaccinated. I feel like that just makes the process a whole lot easier.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me today. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you for having me. I've enjoyed the conversation very much.
Absolutely. And I'm going to send it back over to the desk.
It's time for our first break, but coming up, President Joe Biden visited Philadelphia to make his case on the American Rescue Bill. Stay tuned.
This is Kevin, and Kevin could use some kindness. Here's Ian. He could be that man. Ian chooses to be inconsiderate and not hold the door for Kevin, and in turn, Kevin suffers. Kindness may be a choice, but doing so is always the right one. So if Ian can make the right choice, you can too.
Yo, bro, what's good?
What's going on?
How you feeling, man?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
When'd you start smoking?
Smoking? It's a jewel, bro.
It's a jewel?
Yeah.
Listen, you might as well be smoking cigarettes. When you start juuling or vaping, you're 4 times more likely to start smoking cigarettes.
Is that true?
That's very true. Give me this one. You don't need it.
To learn more about e-cigarettes, go to thetruth.com.
Hook to the dollar feature and you're on my mind. Return of the creature that crawled up from the subway line. You're always keeping me waiting, keeping me waiting for you.
Philadelphia bar and restaurant owners are rejoicing. Starting April 4th, bar services may begin again and restaurant capacities are increasing to 75%. This is a huge step in lessening COVID restrictions as larger scale events will be able to take place indoors. Governor Tom Wolf tweeted last week, quote, "As cases decline and vaccination rates climb, I'm announcing the lifting of targeted restrictions on restaurants and other businesses effective April 4th. This means that patrons in restaurants can sit at the bar, alcohol service will be permitted without the purchase of food, the curfew for removing alcoholic drinks from tables will be lifted, and certified restaurants can seat indoor capacity at 75%. Requirements such as social distancing between tables and mask wearing will still be in place, but the future for Pennsylvania restaurants is looking up this spring and summer."
On Tuesday, March 16th, President Joe Biden visited Philadelphia to sell voters on the benefits of his sweeping economic relief plan. President Biden visited Smith Flooring in Chester Township, where he appeared with the company's owners and Democratic elected officials from the region. He talked about the $1.9 trillion legislation enacted earlier this month as a way forward for a country reeling from a year of health and economic suffering. During his brief remarks, President Biden reiterated his pledge to get 100 million stimulus checks to Americans and hit 100 million vaccine shots administered during his presidency in the next few weeks. Before leaving the city, President Biden sat down for an interview with 6 ABC News anchor George Stephanopoulos to discuss current issues happening around the country.
A Temple University student wins the golden ticket to Hollywood on American Idol. Singer-songwriter Sadie Lee is a junior at Temple from Fort Washington, Montgomery County. Sadie has been making music with her father for as long as she can remember. The golden ticket winner must come from a musical family since she is one of 3 singing sisters. The story behind her single LA, LA, LA that she wrote in the music room at Temple is about wanting to go to LA and pursue her music career. Now that that dream is coming true, during the pandemic, Sadie started streaming live on Facebook to sing, and that is now American Idol found her. You can watch Sadie on Hollywood Week on American Idol, airing on Sundays at 8 p.m. on 6 ABC.
As we reach a full year living through the COVID-19 pandemic, much has changed for most relationships. But thanks to the vaccines, an elderly married couple from Doylestown have been able to resume their Sunday brunch together. Bill and Lola Fuller have been married for 72 years. They both live in an assisted living facility together. Bill lives in an independent living and Lola in the other health center. The Fullers have had Sunday brunch together since they moved there in 2012. The pandemic forced the couple to put a pause on their brunch. They are now filled with joy that they are able to resume these special moments together.
Coming up after this last break, Prince Philip has returned home after being in the hospital for a month.
million people worldwide lack access to safe surgery. Together with Operation Smile, we believe every child suffering from cleft lip or cleft palate deserves exceptional care, no matter where they're born. This is your chance to comfort parents who may have lost hope that surgery is an option for their child. It starts with healing that one child.
Oh my God, I swear, these sports show hosts just get dumber and dumber as time goes on. Like, I can't believe people are actually paid money, real money, more than what I make at my job to say this stupid stuff. Like, I can't believe this crap. Oh my gosh. I'm about to lose it. I'm about to lose it. Like, this is just, how can they even...
Hey, what you doing?
This stupid sports show. These people have no idea how the game of basketball is played. Not at all.
Hey, you're not you when you don't watch LaSalle TV. Here, let me show you.
Have much more left, but the only reason why now for everyone else it's a one-year rental.
Talk Philadelphia here on LaSalle TV. I'm your host, all that and much more.
Feel better now?
Better.
You're not you when you're not watching LaSalle TV. To stay up to date, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
During the week of March 19th, the drug company Moderna announced that they have begun a study that will test its COVID vaccine in children under 12, including babies as young as 6 months. The study is expected to enroll 6,750 healthy children in the United States and Canada. Moderna declined to say how many already signed up or received the first shots. In a separate study, Moderna is testing its vaccine in 3,000 children ages 12 to 17 and may have results for that age group by summer. The vaccine would then have to be authorized for use in children, so it would not be immediately available. Many parents want to protect their children, and vaccinating children should help to reduce herd immunity, considered crucial to stopping the pandemic.
Spring may have sprung, but Rita's tradition of free water ice on the first day of spring has not. For the second year in a row, Rita's lovers will not be able to enjoy a free cup of water ice to celebrate spring, due to the large crowds this event normally draws. Rita's explained that the decision to cancel Free Water Ice Day in 2021 was to keep customers safe during the pandemic. After announcing the cancellation, Rita's optimistically tweeted, "Don't worry, we are still open for business and look forward to seeing you soon." Rita's stores reopened for the season on March 20th and are now ready to serve up some sweet treats this spring and summer.
On Tuesday, March 16th, Prince Philip, the husband of Queen Elizabeth, left the hospital and returned to Windsor Castle after being treated for an infection and undergoing a medical procedure. Prince Philip, who is 99 years old, was first admitted to a London hospital on February 16th and spent time in 2 different hospitals for a total of 28 days. This has been his longest stay to date. A statement for Buckingham Palace said, quote, His Royal Highness wishes to thank all the medical staff who looked after him at both King Edward Hospital and St. Bartholomew's Hospital, and everyone who has sent their good wishes, end quote. The prince is said to be doing just fine.
After weeks of slow increase, gas prices around the nation have begun to slow down. While still expected to rise more over time, the supply now currently outweighs the demand, allowing for the gas prices to stall. The national average price for a gallon of regular gasoline was $2.88, also up 5 cents from last week. Drivers were paying an average of $2.19 a gallon a year ago at this time. Much of this price rise was caused from winter storms shutting refineries down across the nation, but with everything back up and running, we hope to see a change in price soon. Well, that just about does it for this episode, but be sure to find us on the web as well as the rest of LaSalle TV on our Facebook page. We love to hear your thoughts, so tweet at us using our Twitter handle to start the conversation.
If you missed the scoop and want to see it, you can find episodes on YouTube on our LaSalle TV Philly page.
Until next time, for Justin, Sam, and the entire crew, I'm Erin Holly. Watching LTV News, where the action never stops. And please, continue to wear a mask.